Hello and welcome to Daily Dose Radio, a 5-minute-a-day podcast studying the Psalms verse by verse, recorded here in the dining room of the Bible Bistro, located in Sharonville, Ohio. Hey there friends, welcome back to Daily Dose Radio here in the Bible Bistro. Oh, the Bible Bistro is in the Bistro dining room today. We're recording this from the Bistro dining room so that we have plenty of good light and sound here. So today and all this week, we're looking at Psalm 25. I hope you'll join me all week. This is beautiful, and we're going to do this in two parts. Last time, in Volume 2, we're now in Volume 3, but in Volume 2, the last time I taught Psalm 25, I taught it all in 1 week. It's 22 verses long, and I attempted to do it all in 1 week. I'm going to break it up this time, and I'm going to do it half of it this week and half of it next. So this week, we're just going to do through verse 11. This is the first of the acrostic psalms, or as some call them, the alphabetic psalms. And these are psalms that are written according to the Hebrew alphabet. They're written acrostically. So a verse or a group of verses begins with a particular letter in the Hebrew alphabet, and then it follows the order of the alphabet going on through the psalm. So in verse 1, or in verses 1 through 4, or in verses 1 through 8, you have the first letter of the Hebrew alphabet. Probably the best example of this is Psalm 119. In Psalm 119, you have each 8 verses corresponds to a letter in the Hebrew alphabet, and you get all 22 letters of the alphabet in that acrostic. Here, we have not all of them, but almost all of the letters. This is not a perfect acrostic, but he picks up, this is of David, and he picks up most of them, and each verse will begin with one of the letters of the alphabet. And sometimes you'll have, for example, later on next week, we'll have verses that will have one letter of the alphabet, and then in the next phrase another letter of the alphabet, and then the next verse you'll have the previous letter of the alphabet and then the next letter of the alphabet, so that it kind of goes back and forth. It's very beautiful the way it's constructed. There are several of these acrostic psalms in the scriptures. This is the first one. Then we're going to have Psalm 37, Psalm 34, 111, 112, 119, as I've already mentioned, and 145. These are the acrostics or the alphabetic psalms. This one is a prayer of the church, and all we have is that it's of David. To you, O Lord, I lift up my soul. O my God, in you I trust. I will not be ashamed. Do not let my enemies rejoice because of me. So you notice that right off we have this as a prayer. This is a prayer that we're listening perhaps to David in his closet pray this prayer. Maybe he's on his knees and he's writing this prayer out as he's praying. To you, O Lord, I lift up my soul. And we're still in the shadow of Psalm 22, so perhaps we have the Lord Jesus also praying this while he's on the cross. We know he prayed these prayers from Psalm 22 all the way down to Psalm 35. So perhaps he's praying this as well, and maybe we can put this on the lips of the Lord Jesus as he's on the cross. To you, O Lord, I lift up my soul. O my God, in you I trust. I will not be ashamed. So we have a confident confession of faith here in the psalmist who's praying this prayer. And you know what, friend? This would be a great prayer for you to take into your prayer closet. Just pray this prayer. Just say, Lord, to you I lift up my soul. In you I trust. I will not be ashamed. Why is it that you won't be ashamed? Because you're trusting in the Lord. And that trust, ladies and gentlemen, is stronger than any force this world or life can bring against it. The idea of being ashamed is very popular here in the first half of the psalm. Also, the idea of waiting on the Lord is very important. We have it several times, principally here at the beginning. We have it in verse 3, we have it again there in verse 5, and then we have it at the very end of the psalm in verse 22. I think it's verse 22. Maybe it's verse 21. Let me turn back here and look. Oh, it's verse 21. So we have this idea of waiting. Being ashamed and waiting. Patience is another important theme? Well, we're going to see a lot of that as we go forward. Join me tomorrow. We'll look at verses 3 and 4 here on Daily Dose Radio. Thanks for listening to Daily Dose Radio. For more fresh and delicious Bible studies, podcasts, books, and more, check out the Bible Bistro online and on YouTube. Join me again next time for Daily Dose Radio.